Ẹ kú dédé àkókò yìí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa tí ń wò wá káàkiri àgbáńláyé nílé ní tàbí lẹ́yìn odi, gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ kóòtù jíire, gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá, gbogbo yín pátápátá ni mo kí o. Ojú tẹ fi ń wò mí ò ní fọ́, etí tẹ fi ń gbọ́ mi ò ní dí, àníròhùn gbèsò ní bí ó ṣe bí ọmọ. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lókè òkun, ẹ kórè oko délé o.
Landmark achievement of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, precipitating our anonymous endorsement for and on behalf of all Yoruba race, that we have found a good leader, we have found an excellent Democrat, we have found an achiever in person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that is why his renewed hope agenda in terms of security, in terms of economic development, in terms of social integration, education. We know the challenges are enormous, but we believe they are surmountable, and that is why, in order to have a country of our own, we are calling on all Nigerians to look beyond ethnic divisions or political attrition or necessary political blackmail, to letting us know that 2027 election should not be an election of war, but rather a rallying point for all Nigerians to reflect on where are we, where do we want to be, and what is the future of Nigeria. And for us to achieve that, it cannot be by war, it cannot be by way of grandstanding, and that is why the World Omoluabi Festival of this year is centered around that cause. And as the President, Ààrẹ Ọládọ̀tun Azan, the Prince of Ogboru Amodo in Ile-Ife, has been approved by His Imperial Majesty that, and the Council of Soko of Ile-Ife, that I be conferred and installed as the Soko Agori Eshin Igbawowijo of Ile-Ife, which is coming up on the 1st, which is the World Omoluabi Day. The Iweja will be coming up early in the morning at the Wanike Palace, opposite the palace, and after the rite, we will all come back to the Amodo house, which is behind the Memorial Statue. That's where the Ogboru Amodo family, that's where I'm from. And the Omoluabi Festival will serve as the reception, just to celebrate ourselves and celebrate the unity, peace, and development of the Yoruba people and the Omoluabi ethos that we are renowned for. And that is why the Yoruba Council Worldwide found it so important to appreciate His Imperial Majesty Ooni Adeyeye Babatunde Enitogunsi, the Ooni of Ife, for giving us this reception of hosting the 27th edition at the palace. While we are calling on all great sons and daughters of Yoruba land all over the world, anywhere they are, to acknowledge every 1st of May as the World Omoluabi Day, which is a celebration of our hard-working spirit, our resilience, our integrity, because that is who we are. The core identity of Yoruba race is not war. The core identity of Yoruba race is not destruction, it's not terrorism. We are not known for that. What we are known for is we are accommodating, we have self-respect, and we have resilience. And that is who we are. And that is why all great sons and daughters of Yoruba land are going to be gathering for the biggest festival of all Yoruba indigenous people. Be you Christian, be you Muslim, be you any even traditional religious practitioner, we still believe that the festival is for all of us, and there is no way that we can take it out of we the Yoruba people. And it is a great honor that we are celebrating this year's edition at the palace of the Ooni of Ife. And we are glad that this gives me the resounding joy that the 27th edition will equally culminate to my installation as Soko Agori-Eshin of Ile-Ife. To make it categorically clear that our endorsement for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to continue towards consolidating his landmark achievement in the past 3 years plus is predicated on those things he has critically and visibly shown to the whole world that he has capacity to deliver economic prosperity, to ensure that our education is revamped, to ensure that the military, our security, both internal and external, based on cooperation with the US, with France, with every other support is receiving, and with the commitment of our military at home in fighting Boko Haram. Maybe people don't know that it takes a whole lot to lead Nigeria. It is not about ethnic jingoism that we are Yoruba leaders and we are coming behind our own son. It's because our son is doing good. It's because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying his best to ensure that he brings stability. If not for the amalgam of the opposition that are selling the wrong narratives, and they are very more happier that the country is under the doldrum of insecurity because that is their own campaign slogan, using the cries and blood of Nigerians as the pivot of their own campaign. But we cannot fold our hands, and that's why we are encouraging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to unveil, to ensure the sponsors, the collaborators of Boko Haram, of insecurities that we are experiencing across the country, is taking beyond the mere altruistic mission that is having. It should make it a national cause for all of us to put all hands on deck. And that is why his engagement to ensure that we have state independent security, state policing, state forest guard. All these are measures of dealing decisively against insecurity. Managing Nigeria is not just any ethnic, it's not just anybody that can do it. We've seen those that are campaigning now. As governor of the Anambra State, Peter Obi cannot boast of landmark achievement of fighting insecurity in Anambra State while he was the governor of that state. We knew how the PPP, the private sector, was mismanaged by Atiku Abubakar while he was the vice president and chairman of PPP. We had their records. None. It was under President Muhammadu Buhari that we have Rotimi Amechi as a minister, and they suffered us, even if it is the same political party of Mr. President. But it's turning the box around. It's not leaning on the past woes. It's trying to change those things, those landmarks, the likes of Amechi during the Buhari-led administration. If not that Buhari is late, he ought to also know. Even while he was alive, he knew that Nigerians were not happy. We had it more a low-cost period. But thankfully, somebody is doing something different. And that is why we found it so worthy enough that if we do not raise our voice and all Yorubas rallying around our president, calling all other indigenous Nigerians as the Secretary General of Nigeria Ethnic Nationalities Leaders Council, as the President Yoruba Council Worldwide, I, Prince Barrister Oladotun Azar, the President Yoruba Council Worldwide, hereby endorse President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for second term to continue the good job, while I'm imploring all Nigerians not to relent in prayers, not to relent in their efforts in support of Mr. President, because for a man to genuinely go after the power blocks that even making the president all in the bid to satisfy Nigeria. That is why Mr. President, in his capacity, has gone ahead to implement the tax law. That is why Mr. President has implemented the NEL fund for the students. That is why Mr. President is going all around to ensure that the health sector is revamped. Infrastructure across the country is not like before. He's going to check the records of even old projects that have been abandoned since 70s. The Kano Badagry, the Sokoto Badagry way is there. These are not just infrastructure of 1 year. These are infrastructure, these are legacy infrastructure. So why would somebody see all this and term it an ethnic issue? Why would somebody see good thing and decided to go into darkness? Why would people be happier that Nigerians are being killed every day and they will be bold enough to come to the media using it as a campaign slogan to remove Mr. President? Because majority of them are behind the terrorist attacks. Those that are using terrorism to campaign for you to vote them are the ones behind the terrorist attacks, because they believe if Mr. President is being faced with insecurity, Nigerians will continue to spread hatred against him. Let no one hate Bola Ahmed Tinubu because he's genuine in his service, and that is why I will always align with His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife. He has given us the go-ahead to give all maximum support for Mr. President, and we are doing it genuinely. What we are doing today has received the blessing of His Imperial Majesty, and that is why come tomorrow, May 1st, all Yorubas will gather at the palace to celebrate Mr. President, to ensure that we keep him in our prayers with long life, because that is the only thing that can stop us from achieving this task. If President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is given another 8 years, in his first 8 years, Nigeria is now the major exporter of petroleum products, whereby we used to swap our fuel, our crude oil in the past 60 years with the same set of people that are clamoring to lead our country, siphoning our monies and not making us enjoy the fruit and dividend of democracy. For somebody who has been able to develop true public-private partnership in Dangote refinery, which is going up to 1.4 billion per day production. Today, we know that the global community is facing the US, Iran and Israel war, which is affecting the price being shoot up. That is not the local problem of Nigeria. It's a global effect. But we have to still commend that for somebody to making us have a sustainable infrastructure in the oil and gas sector. Now Nigeria is now building its own military hardware. We've never had it so good like this before. Today, the military allowances have been increased. Maybe you are not aware. Police have now their welfare now have been positively improved upon. That is why the president mandated the new IG, Tunji Disu, to go all out to ensure that each state should be able to provide the necessary hardware to be in charge of their state security, to provide all necessary support for their state policing. State policing include even the military in their various states, the police within their various states, the local hunters within their various states, to ensure that their security vote is not just a vote for mere security spending. They will equally provide technical support. They will equally provide monitoring and evaluation, so that it will not just all security affairs will not end up on the desk of the IGP, on the chief of army staff alone, on chief of defense staff. So every state structure of commands of security will have a confederacy system of independence to manage their effectiveness, and regionally they can collaborate within each geopolitical zone to ensure that there is no inroad for insecurity to thrive, because this insecurity we are talking about is sponsored. To buy one AK-47 is not less than 2 million naira. So if you don't have that, if you have not eaten satisfactorily, how do you get the amount of money to procure those armaments? If not that they have sponsors behind it, and the president have unveiled so many of them. Some of them are going through investigation. Some days back, some of them have been arrested for full sponsorship. These are the terrorists that we are talking about. The Mr. President has been fighting them. So all Nigeria need now is not to throw him alone to face the battles. We have to be behind him now, because the more we rally behind him, that the more the fear of the sponsors of Boko Haram, because they know if Mr. President gets second term, that is their end. So we believe strongly, all we need to do is to plead with all Nigerians that using our leverage of Yorubas to appeal to all other indigenous Nigerians, that let's give all support to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's ensure that we give him the necessary way and advisory. We've written to him way out of all this doldrum. One of those cardinal appeals is for him to change the military constitution Nigeria is running on. This constitution cannot sustain our unity. If Mr. President can boldly end the Abdulsalami decree constitution, the decree 34 that proclaim the we the people, with a new people's constitution that promotes the local government autonomy fully, that ensure that security of each state is guaranteed through state policing, to ensure that the new tax law is enshrined in a new Nigerian People's Constitution. Mr. President is already building everything in phases, but the time is not available. Let him merge all this together in one national constitution, so that we will end all these fears. We can have a 6 regional government whereby every region will be competing with each other economically. Every region will be able to thrive on their own. That is why we appreciate in creating the 6th Geopolitical Development Commission. So therefore, our endorsement is genuine. Our endorsement has received the blessing of the Ooni of Ife, and we are appealing to all traditional rulers to equally support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in this cause, while we encourage all Yorubas all over the world to celebrate the World Omoduabi together with us tomorrow, 1st of May, while we will be acknowledging my installation as Soko Agori Eshin of Ile-Ife. I'm most honored with this honor of my person, because Soko is one of the ruling houses. The 4 ruling houses of Ile-Ife are only entitled to the position of installation of Soko. That is the apparent heir prince in each ruling houses. So from Yoruba Modo, which is a ruling house that produced the former Ooni of Ife, Ooni Shijuade, that is from the same ruling house I'm from. So the present Ooni is from the GSC family, and that's why the 4 ruling houses work in unity, in peace, and admonition of the Ooni of Ife. So all Sokos are apparent lieutenants supporting aids to the Ooni of Ife, and I'm very most humble that my installation coming up will serve the interests of all Yoruba people, and I'm going to use my position to develop Ile-Ife and by extension all Yoruba land to ensure that every Yoruba identity of Omoduabi is achieved through the Omoduabi Identity Card project. We are equally going to achieve the Omoduabi economic blueprint through what we call the Yoruba Chambers of Commerce and Industry, whereby all businesses within Yoruba land can receive boost both internally and internationally. Also, to ensuring that there is peace and development in Yoruba land, we have equally ensured to host the Omoduabi Obas Games, which is also coming up to bring in is an Olympic competition for all Yoruba indigenous people. These are the giant strides I'll be coming up with, and ensuring that the women will not be left out and the children. So these and many more are part and parcel of my vision, and I believe strongly it will have a lot of value to the development of Ile-Ife. My passion for the Yoruba people will not be deterred, and this I'm encouraging all my people, the Obas, the women, to please give me the necessary support as the Ààrẹ Yoruba Agba, as the President Yoruba Council worldwide. I look forward to seeing my journey into the Asoko Agori Eshin as a new dawn of greatness, a new dawn of hope, a new dawn of development for the entire Yoruba race. Thank you and God bless.
Ètò olómi ọgbọ́n ni ọmọ òye nìkan ẹ̀wà kan fìdílé àbíkẹ́ fìdílé kan kálẹ̀ rẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ lórí ètò yóò. lórí ètò olùsọ̀gbọ́n olómi ọgbọ́n. ọmọlé ìwé o ẹ fara yín balẹ̀ kẹlẹ̀ rẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ lórí ètò yóò. àtẹ̀yìn àgbàlagbà ẹ jẹ́ kájọ máa gbọ́ ètò Olúṣọlá ní olómi ọgbọ́n. olómi ọgbọ́n ètò olóyè lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ mi. ètò kan tó tèmi létí ètò olómi ọgbọ́n ní ọmọ òye lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. ẹ̀wà kan fìdílé àbíkẹ́ fìdílé kan alẹ́ rẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ lórí ètò yóò. alẹ́ rẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ rẹpẹtẹ lóní jàmbó rẹpẹ. àtẹ̀yìn àgbàlagbà ẹ jẹ́ kájọ máa gbọ́ ètò Olúṣọlá ní olómi.